mindset, uplift, manifest, momentum mindset, uplift, manifest, momentum mindset, uplift, manifest.
It is Wednesday, February 24th. I think, Ricardo, I can barely keep, I think it's 2021 still. So much is going on.
Right.
And I'm just pumped we get to bring the truth of what's happening and help people secure their financial legacy every night at 9:30 Eastern Standard. Ricardo, first of all, I got to see the shirt.
Yeah. We live.
I measure my wealth in ounces.
Yeah.
That was my design.
Yeah. That's Mike design and my quote. Yeah. Look, man, the Runners merch is live, folks. Get it. The runners.shop, folks. You know, symbolizing your state of consciousness. And people ask you, what is that? What you got on there? You know, I love it, man. I love it.
So, Ricardo, I want to get your hot take here. First things first. Let's just blow this show out of the water, because what we're going to bring tonight is going to totally and completely shock and change the world. So first of all my people out there, hashtag silver for freedom. Silver, the number 4 freedom. We have started this hashtag to wake people up and get them financial freedom. So Ricardo, first of all, before we even get into the markets or anything, today, a historical event took place. The Federal Reserve System that allows banks to send money back and forth went down for several hours. Again, this is February 24th, 2021. Just so happens, guys, tomorrow is when the COMEX, the one exchange in the world silver's traded on that we get this spot price from, is set to have to deliver physical silver. So, Ricardo, your take on what are we seeing here? What's going on in the economy, and what do people need to know?
Yeah, you know, what we're seeing is weak links in the chain. You're seeing a system under immense amount of pressure, okay? And you're seeing the cracking of it when you're seeing systems just starting not to function. And people should be concerned. You know, this should be a warning, a wake-up call for some people, because it's just a matter of time before they say you go to the ATM and you won't be able to pull out your cash. It's very similar to how the banking system froze up, okay, in 2008 when we had a credit crisis where money was in movement. There was a freezing of transactions. So in that sense, the Federal Reserve System, okay, the payment system is shut down for a few hours, where they talk about over $3 trillion in transactions that wasn't able to take place. The system is so fragile, it's so interconnected that any little thing like that has major ripples and ramifications throughout the system. And so today we also saw that the stock market was, you know, triple digits down, and then Jerome Powell comes out and pretty much assures the stock market that they're going to continue to buy up assets. They're going to continue to print paper. They're going to back this stock market. So folks, I hope you understand that you're seeing the stock market hit all-time highs is because the Federal Reserve has said that they're not going to allow it to crash. And what that means is they're going to continue to print paper. They're going to continue to create value from nothing and steal from our future generations and the present value of the purchasing power of our money. So these are wake-up signs, folks. You're seeing it live in action. So, yeah, Mike, I mean, they got shut down.
So, I mean, guys, ACH went down for 3 hours. ACH. So you have to start to think and prepare. What would happen if ACH just went down and you could not send money between banks or payments or anything like that? What would you be left with to trade or barter with as real money? Mm-hmm. This is why we are not, I am saying this from the bottom of my heart with every conviction I have, is you need to get real physical silver now, guys. This is real money. This is what makes the world run. almost everything we use right now. If you're on a computer, you need silver. If you're on a phone, you need silver.
Your image is on a screen. It's scrambled. Mike, there you go. It fixed it. Yeah, there you go.
Better now? All right.
Yeah, you're good now. But now, I mean, yeah, folks, you know, another thing I thought about too is you want to be liquid as possible. Okay, you want to be liquid as possible. I remember during the financial crisis in Europe, in Cyprus, folks, they were only allowing people to pull out $60 or 60 euros or whatever have you per day. It didn't matter your expenses. It didn't matter if you have food in the fridge. Okay, there are people waiting in the lines at ATMs to pull out 60 euros. Okay, so you don't want to find out you wake up and you're trying to go to the bank and you can't get access to your cash. Okay, you want to make sure that you're properly liquid. You want to keep cash on you. Okay, put a safe. I don't have to know where you put it, but you want to keep cash. You know, because you don't know what type of situation is going to unfold. Whether we're talking about a false flag, a red herring, a black swan. You know, any type of event, and understand that any event that takes place throughout history of this magnitude, whether we're talking about a 9/11 or the sinking of the you know, any significant event in history, more than likely, it doesn't matter the facts of it. They push forward with their agenda, and then people try to figure out the facts later on. Just like with 9/11, there's still some things that haven't been cleared up. But it didn't matter. They went forward with it, just like Iraq. Okay, weapons of mass destruction. It didn't matter. They went forward with it. So when you wake up, and we might know it's some BS, but they say, hey, the system was hacked. All your money's gone. Oh, you know, who knows? They just shut down the whole system. They're going to move forward with their agenda, even though it's probably clear as day that that's something that was an inside job or they manufactured. But you just want to be prepared, because it's not a secret that the government does lie to us. Okay, they do lie to you. You know, they're not going to tell you. You know, and so this is why, you know, we tell people, look, you just want to be prepared. You want to be diversified, and you want to be having assets and cash flow, especially in these times.
Well, and you know what? I mean, this is crazy, Ricardo, right? The Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said, we want to be consumer-focused payment system and efforts to develop a digital dollar. Powell said this will be an important year for the program's development. It's going to be a year in which we engage with the public pretty actively. The Fed has been developing a digital payment system for several years that, among other things, would help unbanked people have greater access to payments. Listen, newsflash, Fed, we don't need you. Right. You're done. It's game over. We are now in the people's economy, where we have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Theta, Solana to exchange wealth peer-to-peer. But again, you want something real, physical that you can touch, which is silver. And that's what we want to focus on today, guys, is the Fed and what's going on with their payment system is it's just an illusion. It's just a distraction.
Let me say this, Mike. The Fed, once again, if I told you guys, is public enemy number one. Okay. And if they're allowed to move forward with a digital dollar, they'll be enslaving us even further. Okay. Yeah. Transactions, everything. You literally will be a slave now to this system. The Federal Reserve's mandate, they failed at it. The purpose that they were instituted in, they failed at it. For a new transition, we don't need them, like Mike said. We don't need the Federal Reserve system. We don't need them in charge because they failed already. And so just be prepared, okay, to have to stand with a straight back and be aware of what your government is trying to do to you and your future loved ones, and take a position, because, you know, the line will be drawn in the sand, okay? And you're going to have to choose which side of that line you're on, either for freedom and liberty or enslavement and tyranny. That's what it's coming down to, you know, and that's why they made certain people sheeple, very passive, and they put the fluoride in. I talk about this, right? But you gotta be awoke, and you gotta be on top of things, what's going on, because things are moving fast. They're definitely moving fast with their agenda.
Without a doubt. And the key here, guys, is you don't fight the system, you go around it. Okay. Politics isn't going to solve anything. What's going to solve it is us creating a movement together as people across the world and extracting real value into our own possession outside of the system. So real quick, the market cap today, gold, of course, is on top at 11 trillion at 1796. Silver, number 6 at 1.53 trillion, creeping up on Amazon. Bitcoin at number 8, moving up to at 50,796. And what I want you guys to understand here is we're talking about 3 assets in the top 10 that are decentralized. They're either you hold it or you have it in your wallet where it's your possession. That's what we're focusing on, is you getting real wealth. And we have a system where we can get cash flow from getting these assets. That's the key. Businesses, tax write-offs like we talked about last night.
I think Ethereum is number 50 on that chart. It might have moved up. But Ethereum is definitely up there in market cap somewhere. I saw it when I was looking. No, it's there somewhere. It's there somewhere, Ethereum. I know it's moving.
Well, let's see here. Ethereum has a market cap of 188 billion.
Yeah, and so you should be able to find it.
Down a little bit.
109.
Right there, 66. It went up 8 today.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
When they were at $2,000, it was probably up near 50.
Oh yeah, I'm at 50. Yeah, that's when I looked at it. Yeah.
But I mean, Merck, the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, like, this is historical that Ethereum, this thing people thought I was crazy for buying for the last 4 years, is at a 66 market cap over Merck, Pfizer, PepsiCo, and the Vanguard 500. Texas Instruments, Shell, McDonald's, Shopify, Wells Fargo. Like, I mean, this is what we're trying to teach people, Ricardo, is the future is now. The future is decentralizing. And there's no better way to do this than silver.
Yep. Numbers.
So I don't want to spend too much time on crypto tonight because I want to focus on silver and getting something in physical possession. The markets have rebounded a little bit. We can look at the market cap is at 1.1,576,000,000. So we bounce back. What are the big winners today? Never heard a lot of these. Phantom, I know, has been moving up a lot, 300% in a week. I mean, guys, you got to start paying attention here. 300% a week. I love Icon, up 20% today, apparently. Doge making a big move, 15%. So it's apparently not done.
Yeah, Elon Musk is trying to make that the currency for the future for the internet.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, I told Ricardo today, okay, mark this down again. I'm trying to bring you guys gems here. Solana. Look into this. Think it's going to be going places. Good DeFi, great system, cheap, fast transactions. Oh, good. It took a dip. As soon as I'm done off the stream, I'm buying more, Ricardo. So nobody buy it right now. Don't buy this right now. It's garbage. All right. So, Ricardo, I want to focus on silver because I have never been so excited and convicted about a metal, an asset, a movement like Silver Freedom, Wall Street Bets. Before we go into, the Wall Street silver, just, what are your thoughts on silver spiritually? What does it do? How it's used in medicine, solar panels, electric mirrors, photography, automotive. I mean, we could go on and on and on, but give me your take on.
Well, yeah, definitely, Mike. So, I mean, it's like we've been explaining to people, silver is literally the most undervalued asset on the planet. Okay. And like you were showing, Mike, silver has massive industrial uses, over 10,000 uses for silver. Okay. And when you think about the use case of it in real daily life, right, you start to see it has a greater value than it just being money, right? So that adds to the value of it, but at a time where people can't even get physical, you know, at a time where we're talking about silver shortages, right? You have a massive use and need for silver moving forward in this new technological era, okay? And so silver, that real physical asset, okay, is what you want to hold, even more so than gold right now, okay? You want to hold gold, but it's silver that's massively undervalued. They've been trashing silver, you know, just using it, and it's been unappreciated, right? But gold generally has been stored. It, you know, it's placed in jewelry, but there isn't a lot of silver available, and there's an increasing demand for it, okay? And so that's where you want to be. You want to be in that undervalued asset, okay, where there's not a lot of it, is a finite supply of it, okay, and there's a huge growing demand for it, okay? And right now, even though they manipulating the spot price, you barely can get it for, you know, under $35, $38, $40 an ounce. That's what you're going to get an ounce of silver with. So it doesn't even, it shows you that it's rigged. It shows you that it's manipulated. The spot price versus what it actually costs to get the physical asset. Okay, and it's just a matter of time. Mike talked about the delivery on the COMEX coming up, and then also in March. Okay, and so that's why we're seeing the type of chaos in the markets and volatility in the markets right now, because they're trying to keep the illusion alive. They're going to do whatever they can, okay, continue to add digits to the screen, continue to print trillions of dollars and pieces of paper. And folks, understand something. You cannot audit the Fed. We have not audited the Fed. The numbers are worse than what we are aware of. The situation is magnitudes worse than what we are aware of, because what they're doing with the currency, okay, that the people are tied to through taxes and inflation, right? What they're doing with the money, you don't even know the full links of it. The currency swaps that they're doing with other banks, the bailing out and things that they're doing all around the world. They're just printing up this liability, okay, that you and I, the average person, are relying on to have value, to be able to provide and sustain a decent standard of living for us. Well, a lot of people are going to wake up one day very soon, okay, and be upset when they realize that they should have been taking that paper and turning it into real assets, physical silver, gold, and cryptocurrency, but especially physical silver. Now is the time to get as much of it as you can, okay? This is a finite resource, and there's not a lot of it to go around, and the demand for it is increasing, okay? And we got countries like Mexico and other countries, the #1 producer of silver. They already had their peso backed by silver. They're passing legislation. They want to get the peso backed by silver again. Governments around the world have to have their currency worth something, have to have their people have faith in their currency. Well, people are losing faith in currency when they're just printing it up and it's a piece of paper. But countries that are rich in the mineral and the resources, they're going to take their currency and back it by something. They're going to put it back to silver, countries like Mexico, or they're going to, you know, take a digital asset and back it by the nation's value, because that's what their currency is supposed to be backed by. But now the people are losing faith in currency. They're losing faith in paper. And you're seeing that now. That's why Wall Street and a lot of the major financial institutions and Tesla, they're all getting into crypto. You're hearing about BlackRock and all these major financial firms and stuff, you know, buying billions of dollars worth of crypto. Okay, trust and believe they're getting physical assets too. And that's what you should be doing too. Not what they say, do what they do.
And every time I see this, it blows my mind, Ricardo. The spot price you see on the COMEX for silver, which is around $27 right now, is an absolute joke. That's what people are waking up to. And what we are doing is starting a movement of people getting physical silver, no matter the fake price they put on the COMEX, because let's look at the real data. There's $4,881 to every ounce of silver.
And that's just the M2 money supply, Mike. That's not including the money that the banks create through fractional reserve lending. That's just the Federal Reserve's M2 money supply. So it's I mean, it's magnitudes times greater. I mean, maybe 100x. Honestly.
Listen, you can call me crazy, Ricardo, and anyone else can, but we will see $1,000 an ounce silver or $1,000 an ounce of silver in my lifetime. I will be buying land, acres with an ounce of silver.
Yeah. No, you're not crazy, Mike. That is well known. You know, it's just a matter of time. And it, for all we know, it could be within this decade for sure. That's how things are accelerating. They're picking up at a greater pace, and do understand that anything that the Federal Reserve does, they have to do it bigger every single time for it to have an effect. Okay, so we're taking this drug, this adrenaline, you know, this crack in the system. Okay, this liquidity, you know, cash infusion that they're doing. Well, for it to have the same effect to keep the economy stabilized, they have to double the dose, triple the dose, quadruple the dose. They have to do it 2-3 times just to get the same effect. Okay, and it's unsustainable. The global economy is not going forward, and that's why when Mike shared that article about the Federal Reserve talking about a digital dollar, it's because there's a race, folks. Other countries like Russia and China, okay, Iran, other countries are looking at starting and creating and using their own digital currency, and the U.S. has to get, you know, they got to be first, or they get left behind. And so that's what the Federal Reserve is trying to do. But understand, we are in a global monetary reset, and you need to do something different than just holding on to dollars and getting an earned income working a W-2. You got to have residual income. You got to have cash flow. You got to have assets. And this is what we do.
So I just want to kind of go through again. I don't know what's going on with Wall Street bets. They can do what they want to do. Wall Street silver is where it's at. So I want you to guys just once a day, go to Wall Street silver and look around and see what they're doing. Okay. Support from Germany, the COMEX, Fed, and the ECB. Got 35 kilograms of silver physically delivered. It's a fair start for a working guy. This is what you guys have to understand, is we are pulling real money, sound money, real assets out of the system. Okay. Now, if you are going to buy a digital paper silver, you want to make sure you get PSLV. That stands for Sprott Physical Silver Trust. They are in Canada. Now, I still don't like this, Ricardo. Like, yes, if you're going to buy paper, do it there. But like, okay, number one, trusting Sprott, which, okay, they have a good track record. But number two, Canada. This is in Canada. You got Justin Blackface Trudeau, right?
Right.
So what happens, and this is, I mean, a lot of people I listen to say the nations are going to nationalize the silver mines. So what's to stop Canada, a very socialist, communist country, from just saying, you know what, we're just going to take the silver. You know, we don't need capitalist, whatever, taking it. So that's where, like, yes, it's the best. Don't buy SLV. SLV is garbage. But if you don't own it, or if you don't hold it, you don't own it.
Well, and if you're running with the runners, you know the best place to get it is through the Sound Money wallet.
Sound Money wallet, of course.
Sound Money wallet, 7K, Sound Money wallet. Membership pays for itself, you know. But I mean, yeah, folks. I mean, and that's the thing too. Like when they get stocks and you're getting these shares, they get a piece of paper. You know, you see that silver. That stuff was beautiful sitting on that counter. That's real physical asset. You know, that's, like we said, used in industry. Okay. I mean, it's next level, folks. When you just take a little bit of vision, you apply a little bit of foresight, okay, and you look at the data and you listen to smart people like Robert Kiyosaki, Mike Maloney, and people who understand these things, the runners, okay, you're going to be, you know, very happy, and your children are going to be very happy, and your future generation is going to be very happy because you woke up and said, you know what, I'm going to go get me some silver.
Do you think Mike Maloney is worried about the Federal Reserve shutting down payments? Do you think Mike Maloney's worried about his children or his grandchildren when he can look behind him and see this amount of silver?
That's his too. For years. Yeah, for years. I mean, billionaires, okay? Billionaire. You know, that's what you want to get to. You need as much of it as you can, because there's going to come a point in time you might not be able to get it. You know, I mean, that you're either going to be priced out or it's not for sale. Okay. And it's people who got it now that are going to benefit massively from this wealth transfer. Folks, there's a real wealth transfer taking place. Okay. It's, you know, I talked about it before. It's like the Wizard of Oz at the end of the movie, and you can still see the green man, which is the Federal Reserve. You know, it's like got all these making them look scary, but they walk behind the screen and they can see this little short man look like the Federal Reserve presidents, you know, they look like them. And he saw the people, they know we know, folks. Yep. They know we know, but they're still pulling strings and making thunderous clouds, and we got it. And we looking at them like, you know, we see you, right? Jerome, yep. You know you're not going to tell us that printing trillions of dollars doesn't create inflation, and we're supposed to believe that. You know, like, come on. And so it's just a matter of time, folks. This is in-game scenario. This is in-game.
Yeah. We already know how this is going to end. It's just they have to kind of like pretend like they're still in charge and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think we've talked about this, Ricardo, but a theory is the Wizard of Oz, the entire movie is about getting silver.
Yeah, it's about the monetary system in the Fed.
Yep, and that's a whole other show we'll do. But yeah. I want to focus on this, right? Mark Pyers here, a great tax accountant on our team. The USD has been the biggest Ponzi scheme the world has ever seen. The tax system was and is designed to financially enslave the masses by taking a large amount of their wealth through taxation, so they have to keep chasing the currency. Hint, currency, not money, not assets, currency. And that's why we teach you guys to get cash flow with a business, to get tax incentives, and get real assets so that you're not enslaved. But Ricardo, I just love this because for his 30th birthday, he took 300 ounces off the market, hit his 1,000 ounce target. And that's what I want you guys to focus on.
That should whatever it is.
Yeah. Crypto, silver. Say, I want to have 100 ounces of silver. I want to have 100 Theta, 1 Ethereum. Measure your wealth in the asset, not the dollar, like Ricardo's t-shirt says. And that's the mindset we're trying to shift here. Stop measuring your wealth in the dollar because it's worthless. They can create it whenever, wherever. You put $1 in the bank, they loan out 90% of it like that.
No, 100% now, Mike. Zero reserve requirements.
Yep.
Is what the banks are under right now. Zero reserve requirements. You know, they don't have to hold any of it. You know, and so yeah, Mike. No, I mean, you know, this is the information that people need. And you know, if you ask me, what should be your target? If you can do it, you want at least 1,000 ounces of silver. You know,
I mean, right there.
Yeah, and you see it. They're pulling it off, folks. Wall Street bets. These folks. This, like Mike said, the silver squeeze is still going on. Okay, it's not as quick as a stock like GameStop where you can just see that was a pretty instant thing. No, but this is still going on, and people are getting the physical, and there's momentum behind this. There's excitement behind this. This is waking up the masses of people, and people are realizing the wool that has been put over their eyes and starting to realize why is it that they're working harder and harder and getting less. Why is it that it's harder to make ends meet? Why is it that it's harder for them to have a decent standard of living? Why is it harder for them to get ahead? Why do they find themselves working more and more and feel like they're just getting less? It's because of what we're talking about, folks. The monetary system, silver, gold, currency, debt. Henry Ford said, and I talked about it on the last stream, and I'll paraphrase, but if the American people understood how the banking and monetary system work, there'll be a revolution by tomorrow morning. Folks, everybody's getting screwed. Everybody's getting screwed with this debt-based fiat monetary system that's run by the #1 enemy of the planet, the crooks, okay, is the Federal Reserve. Yes, the den of thieves, okay? And we're talking about the solution. getting the physical asset. And that's what Mike is showing you all through Wall Street Bets. People are waking up. Thousands of people, tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of people are now getting this asset. Folks, you want to get it now while you still can. And the best place to get it, okay, is Sound Money Wallet. Okay, because you don't have to take physical delivery of it. You can have it stored in a private vault that's 100% insured by Lloyd's of London, okay, inside the USA. All right, that's safety. Private vault, 100% insured, and you know the assets are there.
And what people have to understand, Ricardo, is I love this one, right? You know, because I used to teach in high school, and I would tell, 18-year-olds is, listen, buy 1 ounce of silver a month. If that's all you can do, buy 1 ounce of silver a month. Start, if you can't start small and then dream big, you're not going to be successful. And people do the same thing with crypto. They think they need to come in with all this money. I'm like, no, it's consistently over time automating the process of becoming wealthy. You know, that's why we love the autosaver.
Yeah.
Is slowly accumulate one numismatic coin a month over the decades, and you will become wealthy. This isn't a get rich quick scheme. It's do what the wealthy do, automate it, and then just keep doing it.
Yeah, you know, this is exciting because I know the information that we're giving people is real. This is not, we're not pushing some lotion, some potion, some pill, some product, man. We're pushing save yourself and your family from the financial pending doom and crisis, okay, and build legacy and generational wealth in these real assets. There's nothing new under the sun. The world has seen this before, and gold and silver have held value since the times of Egypt. Okay, wars, financial crisis, regime change, plagues, it doesn't matter. Gold and silver always have value, no matter where you are around the world. But there are countries today that won't accept your dollar, okay, that won't accept the dollar. Countries around the world are de-dollarizing. They're dumping treasuries. They're ditching the dollar, and they're getting gold. They're getting silver. They're looking at digital currency, okay? And you should be doing the same.
Now, I love this, Ricardo, because we saw 7K got some money clips.
Yeah.
In the shop today. So this guy says, just a photo of money in a sterling silver clip. If you look closely, some folded pieces of paper can also be seen.
Yeah. I mean, it's they're going to look back in history, and our future generations, the people after us, they're going to laugh and say, how did people think paper was money?
Right.
How did people just go along and think that it was paper? If you put paper in front of a baby and a gold or silver coin, they pick up the coin. The coin is more interesting. It's attractive. It got some weight. You're connected to that metal. That metal is inside your body. A little portion of it, that's inside your body. You connected to that. But that paper right there, man, that paper can't do nothing but burn, okay, and keep you warm. And that's what it's going to be, because it's happened before in Weimar, Germany. It's happening in Venezuela. It's happening in Zimbabwe. It's happening, folks. And out of all the fiat currencies around the world, none of them, okay, are still around. Okay, they all go to zero. Their intrinsic value, and the US dollar is no different. It's a fiat currency. All fiat currencies go to zero, and the dollar will go to zero. When? There's no crystal ball on that, but I always say this: I'd rather be 1 year or 2 years too early than 1 day too late to the largest wealth transfer in history. You don't want to wait to the last minute. You want to be early and ahead of time while the prices are low and while you still can get it.
I mean, and what Trish said there was spot on. We are our own bank. It's time to take back the power. It's time to take back real money, extract the real wealth out of the system. They can't rig it. They cannot rig who owns physical silver. They can play all they want on the COMEX. They can naked short it all they want, but they cannot fake real physical silver. Get as much physical silver as you can. We don't know what's going to happen. I'm not going to try to predict it, but nobody has lost long-term getting physical silver in the entire history of the world. It is the most manipulated, the most undervalued, the most needed, the most useful asset on the planet, and they know it. That's why they rig the market, and that's why they don't want people to know about it. And if there's one thing that we do, Ricardo, forget about everything else. If I can get 4 ounces of silver in the hands of every person in America, we are going to win. So again, before we close out tonight, guys, give me another hashtag, silver for freedom, wherever you're at, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, silver for freedom, hashtag silver for freedom. Everything you do, post this, no matter your race, sex, class, political party. Silver is what is going to save us all. That's what gets me excited. Ricardo, I'll let you close it out and I'll pull up the merch.
Yeah. Before you pull up the merch, pull up the U.S. debt clock one more time and just just scroll over the money creation, because I want people to understand the magnitude of this information that we're sharing with people. There are people throughout history who have tried to give the people real money, who have tried to take people from the debt and the chain of slavery and tyranny. Scroll the mouse over U.S. Treasury dollars now. Scroll the mouse over.
Gotcha.
They're okay. Now popped up, right? So you can see right there that the United States, the Treasury, has the ability to create interest-free, okay, debt-free notes, okay? And so certain presidents tried to free the people from the debt of the Federal Reserve and central banks. And you can see there it said Lincoln. You got to keep it, yeah. So Lincoln in 1862 issued $450 million directly from the Treasury. These debt-free, interest-free notes were known as greenbacks. On June 4th, 1963, President Kennedy signed Executive Order 11110, issuing $4.3 billion directly from the U.S. Treasury, bypassing the Federal Reserve. These debt-free, interest-free notes were known as silver certificates. Okay, the silver certificate, you would take that certificate into the bank and the bank would give you an ounce of silver. Okay, that's real money.
Yep.
That's real money. So this information is what they don't want you to know. Okay, so like Mike said, we got, you know, the runners.shop. Okay, we got the merch back there. Wednesdays at 7 p.m. we're doing the presentation for 7K. Look, everybody needs a sound money wallet. Everybody needs a home-based business. Everybody should have cash flow and residual income. Everybody should be acquiring physical gold and silver. Okay? So 7K is the premium, the major leagues, the best place to get it, the best place to create and have the ability to have write-offs and deductions from having a home-based business. Okay? This is what we get excited about. So y'all see we got the merch, the runners. Okay, I measure my wealth in ounces. If you didn't come from a wealthy family, now is the time to make sure a wealthy family comes from you. Okay, in the next corporate event for 7K, we're going to be in Salt Lake City. Okay, we've been in Salt Lake City in May. So if you're in 7K, log into the events. We're going to be in Salt Lake City. Have your runners merch. Okay, if you miss Cancun, make sure you don't miss Salt Lake City in May. Major news coming out. Major news.
I can't, I just want to stress this again, guys. We already won. They know this. They're just going through, the motions of pretending like they're still in control, pretending like they're still trying to make this all work. People are so woke right now. And I mean that in the sense of they see what's really going on. And I get excited because I cannot wait to just be done with this slavery, this debt system that keeps people poor, that keeps them working, that tries to divide them along race and sex and gender and all these other things they make up in the media to get us arguing about stuff that doesn't matter. It's all an illusion. And I'm just so excited that we're going to win. and they're going to lose. And they already know this. They know what's going to happen, but they got to keep the game up. So silver for freedom. If you are not in 7K right now, I don't know what you're doing. Get assets, sell liabilities, invest in yourself, and manifest the future that you want. Ricardo, I'm done. I don't know what else we can say.
No, that's it. That's phenomenal, folks. The title of the show is Get Silver Now. Get as much as you can. You need this asset, okay? You don't want to wait. It's like people, you know, if you compare it to crypto, they say, man, I wish I had got Bitcoin when it was pennies or dollars or hundreds of dollars. Well, you're going to see people saying, man, I wish I had got some silver. Or, man, I wish I had got more silver when I could have, right? Don't be that person. Run with the runners. Let's get wealthy. Lace up. We see you guys tomorrow night at 9:30.